What's good, family? It's a late one, a really late one, because I spent most of the day pulling out a hot water cylinder and with a friend and reinstalling a new one, and then we had to balance the system, bleed all the radiators, make sure the air was out of the system, so on and so on. So long story short, I finished at 8 o'clock tonight and I didn't get a lot of time to myself. I'm pretty tired, but I did write down a few notes of today's video. It is going to be a bit of a deep one, because we talk about failure and business failures. I'm sure we've all had a few. If you're here, you definitely have had a few. But yeah, let's get into it. So pretty much what we're getting into is not being where you thought you'd be by this age, or whatever age you are. Because I had this image in my head when I was 18 that I was going to be a millionaire by 21, and then when I got to 22 I was going to be a millionaire by 25, and then now it's like a millionaire by 30. So we always try and put these targets on our head, but we don't really realize how much work it takes to get there, and sometimes the personal development that takes to get there. Also, it's never ever like a plain straight road. It's never easy. It's always going to be an up and down in life, this comes with money as well. Money is always moving in and out of businesses, with people and everything. So it's never just going to stay in your bank. It's never just going to stay in your bank. It's not. It's going to be moving, and if money's not moving, it's not working for you. It's not doing anything for you. So it has to be that way. Unfortunately, this is the way of the world. Like, I did that whole cylinder today. I didn't get paid for it. My friend just needed the help with it because it's a heavy job, and he's helped me so much in the past. He actually got me into plumbing, and I respect him. I think of him like an uncle or a big brother. And he's helped me, he's given me tools, he's given me knowledge, he's patient. So I respect him a lot, and that's why I give him my time, and he teaches me again. So it compounds, and it's relevant to what I'm doing. It's what I'm trying to build in my life and my career. He's the one who said to me to go to college and get a plumbing diploma. So yeah, I just gave back to him. Obviously he's doing a favor for someone. Whether he got paid or not is up to him, but I don't care, because he's done me a favor in the past, and many. He's saved me before, so I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, you can't always expect it to be plain sailing, and the journey is never so easy that it just happens overnight. You can't wish for things to just happen and not do the work. Like, you might fail for 2 decades. You might fail for a decade. Some people will fail for 2-3 years, but the amount of growth that you get from that period is different. Someone's growth in that 2 years might be so dense and squashed into 2 years. They may have lost so much money but made so many contacts in that time that they can get back up in the 3rd year. You may have done just as much as work if they have done, but in 2 years or in a year. You might have done just as much work as them, but in the space of 10 years. And it could have been a longer period of time when your brain or your personality or your emotions were regulating, and you were trying to get the better of yourself, and it's more to do with your own personal growth and your own understanding of how you work, because a lot of people can't patch that problem. Everything starts with inside of you. It's not outside. It's not your circumstances. It's not your setbacks. It's not your family. It's not your mum. It's not where you live. It's got nothing to do with that. Yes, demographics and stuff play a part, but I think it's something like 80% of millionaires are self-made. I'm telling you now, it's not external factors. It's always inside of you. The reason why there's no money in your life, or there's no success in your life, is because it is internally recognized as you don't deserve it yet, or you're not ready for it yet. I bet you some of you are actually you get to that point and you're kind of afraid, because you don't know how much work and effort is going to come to get to that point, and you're suddenly realizing it, and you cower away from it. and you're like, oh, I'm actually, oh, I can't deal with this. No, you're not going to do it. So you get to a point where you've bought the computer, or you've bought the system, or you've bought the machine, and you've researched loads, and then you go into it and you do it, and then actually you're like, oh, this is a lot of work. I can't do this anymore. I can't keep up with it anymore. Come on, man. Come on, man. Do you really want to be successful? Do you really want to be that guy? Because it does take so much effort. It's not easy to become someone. People think it's just like, oh, I did this, and in 30 days I became rich. No. Someone definitely is working harder than you, and they're putting in the effort every single day. You should never compete with someone else, but try and compete with yourself. Look in the mirror and say, did you really give it your all today? Did you really do everything you possibly could? And are your eyes falling? Are you tired? Are you doing 18-hour days? Yes or no? Are you doing, obviously you can't do that forever, but you can do that for 3 months. You can do that for a month. You can get ahead. You can sacrifice right now just a little bit of time and work as hard as you can in order to get slightly ahead. Ease off the gas a little bit, but then carry on. And once you hone how to work hard, now you know how hard you can work. You can keep doing it, repeating it. You need to recover and give time to your body to recuperate. Give your mind space to digest what you just did, and then come back and do it again. Because people are just operating in second gear. You're not as fast as you think you are. You're not moving harder than what you think you're moving like. And that took a long time for me to realize. I'm not perfect. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not rich. I'm just working as hard as I can, and I'm pushing the needle as much as I can every single day to see if there is any change in my life. And believe it or not, there is some changes in my life. The needle is moving. And this last year actually was the best year I've ever had in my life. Ever. And I'm still pushing. You cannot let off the gas. You cannot. If you're already in 5th gear, why would you shift down? You're already going 100. Take it to 110. Push. Because there's only more waiting for you at the end of the road. There's only more. The road's not going to run out until the last breath comes out of you. You can push, and if you are under 50, if you're fairly young, or I even think like 55, 60, if you're under that age, you got time. I don't care what you think. You are not past your time. People like to think they're old. You're not old. You still have dreams. You still haven't fulfilled anything you said you were going to do. So what are you waiting for? Why are you letting off the gas just because of one setback or because of one failure? I'll give you an example of how many failed businesses I've had, right? I've written these down, okay? So I started ACN when I was 17 and a half. This was a network marketing company. I grew it to a team of 40 people, and then it pretty much collapsed after we went to Rotterdam and came back, and we heard bad things about the network marketing company. Hey, long story short, it's still running. People are still making money from it. But what happened? Our belief, our determination just deteriorated because of a few rumors. My entire team disbanded, and yeah, well, that's history. So that's gone. That failed. Obelisk online marketplace. That started like roughly after I got back into work, and I was about 20 years old. And this was a marketplace before Facebook Marketplace, which was gonna be connected to Messenger. So imagine if I really pulled that off. That would be $1 billion, if not hundreds of millions of pound idea, because you would connect to Meta. And well, we didn't pull through with that because we didn't put enough effort into it. Easy Buy was the phone screen company. We could have moved. We could have changed country in order to get around the law of not being able to sell copied phone screens. Other places still do it, and they still make loads of money out of it. So it's just the UK that was keeping us in our limited mindset. Crypto mining, OneCoin, that was my massive burn. I put loads of money into crypto mining for this coin, and we found out it was a scam. I didn't do my due diligence to find out what it was, and it wasn't just me. It was tens of millions of people. I think there was something like, I think it was 4 billion was invested into that coin. So I was a small fry, and all my investments just went about 7-8 grand. Bang, gone. So that was another failure. What else? 3D printing. I bought a small machine. I tried it. It took forever. I couldn't learn it, and I didn't really like it. So I just thought, screw it. I'm not doing this anymore. It's still sitting there. So I need to sell that machine, and that was an asset I thought was going to. Well, were we? So yeah, the printer doesn't do the work. It just it just works. But you have to learn how to use the printer, and you have to learn how to program. You'd have to learn how to make the exact temperature. What plastics to use, what splicer to use, so you can download it. All these other things that I didn't consider. That, do I really want to do this? No. Did I really do enough research? No. So I didn't put the effort in. T-shirts on demand, self-explanatory. Same again, didn't put enough effort into it. Shopify, I did laser swords. I made a whole website about it, and I didn't put enough effort into it. Amazon KDP, I'm still doing that. So that's something that I've failed in, and then tried again, and failed in, and tried again. I'm still trying it, so that's a work in progress, and I like doing that. So the Amazon business is a good thing. eBay as well, I'm still doing that now, so that's something that works for me, and I found a good niche. So you have to choose what you have to do, in a sense, and do you want to keep putting in that effort in order to make it a success? It's not going to be a success by itself. Bar tribes, I explained that before. Obviously it's just personal training, and with what happened with the pandemic. Forex trading courses, god damn, how many do we see online? How many do you see on YouTube? Everyone's promising you results overnight. Everyone's just saying, just download it, or just try our program for free for 30 days. Don't even bother unless you're willing to spend money. Nothing good is free. Remember that, right? Because it's free. So don't ever trust what these guys are saying. Oh yeah, download my free course or whatever, and then they're going to give you some kind of spiel about how they did this and did that, and now like they're a millionaire. Don't. Just, nothing free is good. And these shenanigans, they end up always being upsetting ones. YouTube and my calisthenic training with bar tribes, that just came about, and it was doing really well. I put a lot of effort into it, but the passion within inside of me stopped, because I didn't like how people were becoming, and I didn't want to keep on giving a side of me to something that I was interested in. Otherwise I would have to put on a face, I don't want to put on a face with something that I love and enjoy. So that explains that. So now I work on YouTube and pretty much eBay. Those are the two things that I work on, and I would say keep it at that. One or two things that you do outside of work. Do not do any more. It's just too much. There's a book I would say you should read. It is The One Thing. I can't even remember the author's name. Damn, that's so bad. But it's called The One Thing, and there's a number 1 on the book. It's a very good book. It teaches you the principles of focus and mindset, and spreading yourself too thin is not a good thing. People think, oh, you're jack of trades and everything, you can do it. No, it's not a good thing. You dive deep into one thing and you get a lot of results in one thing. So I don't regret starting or investing into these things, but I regret the amount of time and effort I actually put into them. Not in a negative way, but in a way of saying that I didn't put enough in. Not that I gave my time. It's okay that I gave my time, because I didn't get anything out. That's just what happens. You tried it, you didn't really like it, or you wasn't passionate enough to keep going, and now you know yourself more. That's fine. That's still a win. You know yourself more. Now you've got it out of the way. You don't have to do it again. Now it's out of your life. Like, I'm still 28 years old, and I've done so much to the point where I can be like, been there, done that, don't like it, not interested. People are still in the cloud sometimes, wondering, oh, what if I try this? What if I try that? Just try it. Just try it. And if it goes shit or if it goes well, you know where you stand. You know if you really wanted to do it or if you really didn't want to do it. In the truth side of things. But that's like self-discovery. So you kind of have to fail. That's like the obstacle is the way. You have to fail, otherwise you're not going to know yourself better. And that's what one thing I had to learn with time, and it's taken me over a decade now. Let's say I started becoming entrepreneurial around about 18. So, well, yeah, 17, 18, and I'm 29 this year. So 11 years now. Just up to like a decade and a bit. So you have to keep going. Otherwise, if you lose passion continuously, that spark inside of you is going to disappear. And you can't let it disappear. You're going to get like waves of motivation, and you're going to have the wind behind your sails, and then there's going to be times when there isn't wind behind your sails, and you're going to feel low and shit because of life and everything that's happening around you. So your dreams take a back step, but that's normal. That's completely normal. It's like finding the wind again is literally part of the journey. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the sea, and then you'll run out of food and you'll die. So you have to struggle. You have to struggle. People think you can't struggle, or they're scared of struggling, or scared of failing. Fail as many times as you can. I will let my children, my future children, I'll let them fail as much as they want. That's one thing I'm glad and thankful for with my mum. She has judged me, but she has allowed me to fail. And it's hard to see your children fail. I don't want to say like disrespect your parents and do whatever you want and don't listen to them. You can listen to them, take it with a pinch of salt, and just heed their warnings. You know, like I heard something from Gabriel Iglesias. Sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but he's a comedian, and he said something amazing, and it was something like, people slate the older generation now, and they act like they're the problem, but they don't realize that they have valuable lessons and life experience. You have all this technology on your phone, right? And you have all this information at the tip of your fingertips, but you can't download or Google struggling. You can't Google experience. You can't Google life experience. You can't YouTube life experience. You can't download failure. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to play in real life. This is your character. You're gonna have to do the work. You have to go through every single level. Unfortunately, so hate to break it to you. And older people have, some haven't, but the ones who care about you, they probably have been through that problem, and they definitely want to tell you to keep you safe. But you heed their warning, and you also listen to your heart, and you do what you need to do, but you take their considerations into fact, because they're not saying it for no reason. They definitely have been burnt, and life has definitely shown them as well why they've been burnt. So listen to them, don't be rude and don't be ignorant just because they're older or twice your age. They're not out of date. They're not expired. Life is still happening currently, like constantly to them as well. Do you not think older people have struggles? Of course they do. So be patient, listen to them, and wealth is not made overnight. Just remember that. Not everyone gets wealthy at the same time. Not everyone succeeds at the same time. So just be patient. I'm going to talk about a few things that I did personally in my life to improve my life over the past year, where I have pretty much 3x'd my life. I have come out of debt. I have set a path for myself now. I have actual direction. I can see clearly now that my goals are actually happening. I've made them reality, and I have had tons of lows and ups and downs, even like last year. But when the lows came, I was so prepared, and I was ready to punch them back. Like before, I would just get punched by reality and get knocked out, and then you're upset, and then you go back into drugs, or then you go back into being depressed, or you go back into doing nothing and playing video games. Come on, man, get back up. That clock is ticking to 10. You got to get back up, or you're going to get stuck down there forever. So some few things. Lower your expenses. I cannot express this enough. The first thing I did, simplify my life. So I sold my monthly payment car. I bought literally £1,000 car outright. Play it safe, play it easy. You don't want to have unnecessary expenses. Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress, bro? Because when you look in the mirror at home and you still see that you're not the person you want to be, who the hell are you impressing? No one. You're not even impressed with yourself. You're sad with yourself. So behave correctly and stop living above your means. Maybe even move back home. If you have a good relationship with your family or your siblings, move in together and spread the bills. Say you're sorry. Say I love you. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Spread the bills. Work together in this life. It's getting too hard to live alone. So you can do it if you've got that income and you can handle it. But if you're dire and you need to come home or you need to save, just live a lot more cheaper. Lower your expenses. Increase your 9 to 5 wage or your day roll, right? You can either work hard in the current position that you're in, or move into another department which is paying slightly more, or change companies. Changing companies is last. And then out of that, I would say find a new skill, or go back to school or go back to college and learn a new skill and increase your wage. Because when I did that, life got better. You need to become a skilled person so you can be paid more. Simple. You need to get a better wage, a better job, and then lower your expenses. You will be saving so much more money. And that moves on to my third point. So double down on saving. So when you do start making more money and you start saving more money, you need to double down on it. You can save even more. I know you can save even more. Don't lie. You can save even more, because I have expendable money even after I'm saving. And I'm not a rich guy. I just live cheap. I own my car outright. I pay my insurance yearly. I have money for petrol every single month. I make sure the money is there. I don't have rainy days because my rainy days are paid for. I make sure I live basically, so then when the rainy days come, you can pay for them. That's it. Don't let it get to you because you're prepared. If you fail to prepare, you're gonna get prepared to fail. There we go. So stick to 1 or 2 side hustles. That took me a little while to realize. Maybe you're not at that capacity yet where you can do several businesses at once. And if you're not someone who has a team or has a few partners or like a board or something that's on a massive level, like directors and teams and management, then you cannot run multiple businesses. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you. You can't do it on your own, then you can't do it. You can't do multiple on your own. Create a 1-year plan. So what I did, I made a poster and I split it in the middle. I put my fiance on one side and I put me on one side. And I split it down the middle and I put it into 12 sections. I put January, February, March, April, May, and I only filled up 3 months worth of goals, and then another 3 months worth of goals. So you do January, February, March, or whatever. Sorry, April, May, June. And then you write down realistic things that could happen within from today till 3 months time, and you try and achieve those goals. So stick to that 1-year plan and don't devoid from it. Stick to it, because when you stick to it, that needle will start moving. Don't keep moving, because I saw this from Alex Hormozy. You go up, you come down, you go up and you come down, and then you change your ideas and you go down, and you go down, and then you're trying to come back up, and then you're back up, and then you're literally back to where you began. What's the point in that? Just stick to one thing, or 2 things if you really, really can, but one thing. Print out your dream and post it on your mirror. This was just like a brain hack for me. I printed out a 2012, it's one of my favorite shapes, that and the 1967 Mustang, all black, 5 liter. Just print it out and put it on your mirror. I want that car, I'm gonna get that car, that's my dream car. So I put it on the mirror and I look at it every single day. I'm gonna have that car one day. I know, I can see visions of myself driving that car. So I know it's gonna happen. Print out your savings account or your LISA account and put it on your mirror or your wall or your vision board, and then every single time you add to your LISA or your savings account, print another one out, update it every single month. You'll see that number grow. When you see, like, I don't know what it is about phone screens and digits on a phone screen. They don't mean much, right? When you see your bank account and it's like, oh, okay, cool. But when you print it out and you see how much is in your account, you're like, oh, this is on paper. It means way more. When I see it, I'm like, yeah, I've got thousands in my account. So it motivates you to keep on behaving in this way and knowing you're this kind of man and you're this person or woman, that you can do this. I can do this. This is me. This is my work. And it makes me proud when I wake up in the morning and I can see it. I did that. So the 20, like the monthly year planner, which you can buy from like Staples or Asda or anything, and it's each day. Like you will usually see those kind of calendars in sales or acquisition businesses, because they will create a key code, so like the little thumbtacks of yellow, blue, red, green, and they'll put something which relates to that code and then mark that day. So I do this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. And I would say for each month, you key code it. You put in colors that what you do on that day, and you don't devoid from that. You don't change the plan unless it is an emergency or something goes wrong. That's what you do on Tuesday. That's just what you do on Tuesday. That's what you do on Tuesday. It's the same thing. And I'm telling you, the results happen because you're sticking to a plan. Get a diary. We went through that. Get a diary and look at your diary. No, it tells you where you are in reality, and it helps you build a report in your head of, I got this done and I need to get this done for tomorrow or Wednesday, and so on. So getting a diary really helps your mental patterns. So like it helps you build a repetitive, objective manner. So you can come back and look at your diary and say, like, look, I get a lot more done on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday I start to slow down. Then when you start to recognize how many patterns you've made and what you do on a weekly basis, you can kind of decipher what kind of person you are. Buy an asset. Buy a van or some kind of plant or machine or a digger or printer or a stamping machine, something which is an asset, which is going to make you money instead of cost you money. I see a lot of people buying random things like watches, and don't get me wrong, I know watches can grow money, okay, I know, but let's get real, okay? If you're wearing it all the time, it's not growing in money unless you've got that kind of money already. But you're buying unnecessary things when you definitely cannot afford to live that kind of lifestyle. I just got a simple SUV and I was able to do more private jobs, have tools in my car, and do my recreational things and travel and just camp and fish. And if I got a van, I could probably still do that, and you could do removals and things like that and make money on the side with the asset. It's not a liability anymore. So I ditched the convertible and I got a massive SUV. That's pretty much what I did, and I have to finish off with saying, be patient. Stop thinking it's going to happen overnight. Your habits and your bad habits are going to take a while to get rid of, because unfortunately the brain is wired this way. Whether it's negative or positive, it's the reptilian mind, which is the hardest and most primal mind to change. You do things habitually because it keeps you alive. It's a survival instinct. It keeps you alive. It stops you from making the wrong decisions. It also stops you from making the right decisions. So defeat I think it's the snake mind. It's like the primal mind. And be patient. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? But that's it. I wanted to dive deep, and these are some really, really, really valuable lessons that I've faced, and also my failures as well, my personal failures, which I was going to go into. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm sorry if that was a lot to take in, but I hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Peace.
Got me feeling like AJ at Wembley. I got a house in the sticks, I'm living stress free. God bless me, guide me, protect me.